Hey guys, and welcome to the Tactical Tauntaun, where we discuss X-Wing miniatures, Rebellion, Destiny, Imperial Assault, and all things in the Star Wars universe. I am Patrick.
And I'm Will.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the latest upcoming FAQs, or I guess
They actually, I think,
November.
I think, is it November 2nd or 6th that they take effect? To me,
Either way,
might as well start playing them now.
Yes.
Not that much change though. Nobody's really ticked off.
No, not at all. So let's start with Advanced Slam.
This was one that we kind of knew was coming.
Yeah.
Everybody, there was a leak.
That card.
There was a leak that was out there, and this was part of it.
So the card should now read, according to the FAQ, after performing a slam action, if you did not overlap an obstacle or another ship, you may perform a free action on your action bar. So you can still get the free action, but it's got to be an action on your action bar.
Yep.
And
so a target lock or a focus.
Yes, target lock or focus.
Right.
That's it. So no more move.
Yep.
Slam, drop, bomb. Right.
Correct.
That was a big advantage of those K-Wings, especially triple K-Wings or Miranda. I mean, that was the big thing. I don't know. I don't think that. I personally don't think that was so overpowered. I do get it. I mean, I get it. I understand it.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, I just feel like you take so much away from that ship. But there is a way around it.
The way around it is you put experimental interface on, so you can then slam. Now, what that does, though, is you can't slam, take a focus, or a target lock. You can only do another action on an upgrade card. So that does allow you to drop the bomb, but then you take a stress.
Right.
So you can do it.
But it's like every other turn.
Right. The problem is Miranda does not like stress.
Right.
She has...
support ship that has Kanan Jarrus on it, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, I mean,
I just think that... weakens it down.
We heard the rumor was coming, and I don't understand why on this one. I do not understand why they did it. Doesn't seem to make sense. But the thing
I don't fly that ship a lot, so I mean, it's not something that's near and dear to my heart like some of the other things.
Yeah. Now the thing about it is that right now this is the only ship that has the slam action on the action bar. Now, we know the new Star Wing assault ship for the Imperial is going to have the slam action. Maybe there is something in there that they have said, okay, we can't have the ability to do this, and this. And I know with that, when we talked about it a little bit last week, is that we see that you can fire missiles after you slam.
Yep.
So maybe that's the reason is now you can't slam, take the target lock. With the weapons disabled token, still fire the missiles. So you've got to kind of like...
Yeah, so I think this may have been a balance, like preempting this ship coming out that was going to be just way overpowered.
Yeah.
They did that. They probably saw that coming.
I really feel like that's probably what they've gone to and why they did it.
Sure.
So, and we'll have to wait and see. People are going to figure out how to do this.
Of course they are. I mean, you can still play that Miranda Nim build that... Paul Nationals, Paul Haber one. I mean, you're going to pay a few more points. I think you go to 100, 97 to 100.
Right.
It's a little more fiddly, but
you're gonna pay penalties for being able to do some stuff.
Sure.
Before you get
to pay penalties for doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, a Tiny Mon Link is another card that was affected. The text on this card should be preceded by the phrase "limit 2 per squad." This, wow, I
don't know why you would even play this.
Yeah, I mean, I know that. I mean, I play a lot of Atani Mind Link lists, and having 3 ships and having one as your focus engine is great. And the sigh of relief that you see on your opponent when they take out one of your ships, knowing that now you're down to 2, and Atani Mind Link is literally, it's pretty much declawed. I mean, it still works,
right?
But I feel like I don't know, man. I think I don't like this one at all. I don't think that it's.
I think with everything else, and obviously we'll get to,
and we'll get to it. I think this directly is focused at the Jumpmaster,
Right.
which they nerfed the heck out of already, and then they do this on top of all that. Wow, I mean,
I think this one was one of the ones. There's a few in here that I think everybody was everybody kind of knew what was coming because we had heard the rumor Advanced Slam. There was that leak out there of, oh, this is going to change and that's going to change. Advanced Slam was one of those, and we kind of saw it with the little part of the card that you could see, so we kind of knew something was coming. And then a Tiny Mind Link was like, wait, what? Why would they do that? So,
well, I mean, I know that there are people who have talked about how overpowered that is, but I mean, you basically, just ban it then. I mean, because that's basically what you've done. I mean,
yeah.
And I could be dead wrong. I mean, there may be a way of throwing two out there and it working just fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's
going to figure it out.
They'll figure it out. I mean,
and then again, we don't know what's coming down the pipe.
Sure.
Maybe there's something that we got with the Sea-Rock. We got a crew card that lets you change your elicits. Maybe there's going to be a card out there that's going to let you change your EPTs. So you have it on two ships, but then one of your ships blows. Well, now you put it onto another ship. So
let's see. We had next up is Genesis. Genius. Thank you. Sorry, Genius. The card should read, after you reveal and execute a maneuver, if you did not overlap a ship, you may discard one of your equipped bomb upgrade cards without the action header to drop the corresponding bomb token.
So this changes two things.
Yep.
One, you could bump and drop.
Yeah, you can't do that any longer.
Can't do that anymore, so you got to make sure you're clear. Okay. Two, this really only affects Bomblet Generator. So it takes a little bit more power away from, and you normally see Bomblet Generator with Genius on NIM. So now you can't move, drop a bomb because it's a better placement, or hold it so it's a little bit closer without having to drop the Bomblet Generator card. Now the way around it is extra munitions. Costs you 2 more points,
Sure.
but then technically you get 2 Bomblet Generators. So you can do it once for free, and then you can do it one more time, and then you're out of Bomblet Generators. So there's a way around it. You just have a little bit more. You got to pay a little bit more to be able to do it.
This was quick to come. I mean, like we just got this about it, and it's almost like I feel personally like when you see a ship in a list all the time, that's when people seem to get upset about it. I mean, you see different lists and
one of the things that I know after Nationals, there was a video that I watched, and I cannot remember the gentleman who did it, but he did a breakdown of your list. And out of the top, I think it was the top 32, and I could be getting this wrong, and my numbers are probably off because I'm trying to remember out of my head. But I do remember, out of your top 32, 2 Imperials. That's it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty even. It was like 14, 16 Imperial scum. Out of the Imperials, out of the scum, I want to say 14 of the list had Jump Masters.
Sure.
Of some kind, whether it was Dengar, whether it was a contract of scouts.
And this was in which tournament?
The Nationals. This was Nationals. Top 32.
Only two lists had Jump Masters in the top 8.
But top 32.
Oh, top 32.
But then you also had NIM on the scum. The Rebels, and we'll get to one of the other cards that got nerfed, or pilots we got nerfed. You had a lot of Miranda, you had a lot of NIM, and you had a lot of another ship that we'll get to as well. So I feel like what FFG has done is said, okay, Scum's really high, Rebels are really high. Let's kind of try and bring them down. I
like the fact they want to try to bring the Imperials back into it and see those ships a little more.
Yeah,
I do get that.
Yeah.
I also feel like that they could. They could start. We're starting to get enough ships now and enough waves that we could. You can do this at your store, but host tournaments where you only include waves 1 through 5 or 1 through whatever.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to do it.
You can equate that to like Magic the Gathering, where they have, they have modern, they have standard, and they have legacy, and then they have vintage.
Right.
You don't really see in vintage tournaments too often, but legacy.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I would like to see that. I don't know if it'd be feasible at an event. But I mean, it is a week-long deal, isn't it? I mean, how long was Noah? 5-6 days?
Started on a Thursday.
Went through
so
Sunday.
Thursday, Friday, and then or maybe Friday. Maybe X-Wing was Saturday, Sunday.
Either way, I mean,
Friday, Saturday. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But
they could always host some smaller tournaments that do that, and that would bring those ships into play. I mean, I do get this. I understand, and I do want there to be a balance between the factions.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of how I've started to look at it. Is I think they're trying to get. They want to make sure there's other ships on the board, that people aren't seeing the same old stuff. And that was one of the things I know in our area. After a tournament, it was like the top 8. I think it was all jump masters, and they were like, people were like, I'm sick and tired of flying against them. So
fly better. I was watching the finals of the European Nationals. It was 3 contract scouts. It was played. I cannot think of the guy's name. But he's the guy I think he beat Paul Heaver one year in the world's. What is that guy's name? I can't think of it. I guess it's the gentleman playing I think Fairship Rebel or something similar to Fairship Rebel. And that guy's son was there, and he made a great comment about people talking about the jump masters being overpowered. And I like what he said was that as good as they are, and don't get me wrong, they are great. You take a very, very skilled player, they're going to fly the heck out of that. You take a new player or a person who's not very good, because maybe they just don't get the game as well, or they haven't been playing very long, they're going to get burned down. I mean, they're not going to fly. You've got to have the skills to be able to fly it.
Right.
So,
it's not something that you just pick up straight out of the box, put on the board, and go, hey,
there are a couple of lists out there. Some of those, like I think that the Nora Biggs and Lorik build, it's a very, in my opinion, it's not. You don't need to be as skilled. Like you keep your formation together, and the dice mitigation takes care of the rest.
It's a little bit easier to kind of like.
Right. So I mean, that's a great build for somebody learning to play. I mean, I'm not putting anybody's list down at all. I'm just pointing out what I think is.
Yeah. Well, and that list has changed now.
It has.
We'll get to that.
So. Yeah, that was a bad slam thing.
Yeah, so Genius, we did Genius. So we're looking at the computer here, making sure we don't miss anything. Obviously we know the major. Ship cards. Okay, this I think was the big surprise. So we kind of knew that there was going to be something with the Jump Masters. We kind of knew that there was going to be something with Advanced Slam. A Tiny Moonlink to me was a surprise. We're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Genius was a little bit of a surprise. Bigs.
Yep. So this card should read once per game at the start of the combat phase. You may choose that until end of the round. Other friendly ships of range 1 cannot be targeted by attacks if the attacker could target you instead. So in other words, it's the exact same thing, but you only do it once per game. And I believe that this is to try to get people to pick other ships than Bigs. But, well, I mean, honestly, they're going to do this. They're going to need to do something to make T-65s more playable because, I mean, they're talking about bringing ships back. Well, this, like...
And that's what a lot of people have said online, and they're talking. The things that I have read is, okay, this is the nerf that we had to have because now we can have a T-65 fix that won't make Bigs overpowered.
Sure. So hopefully that's what's going to come down the pipe. I mean, because if they don't, then they've done the opposite of what it looks like they're trying to do.
From when I first saw this, and this was, like I said, the one that kind of caught me off guard. I think it caught a lot of people off guard. This one did. When I first saw it, all I could think of was, and I'm one of them, I don't like flying against Fairship Rebel. It's, now that list is still going to be hard to beat, but now you don't have the damage mitigation.
Well, Lorik does a great job of that.
Lorik does do a good job, but now you don't have to shoot at Bigs. It's not about,
Sure, but I mean, let's think about it this way, too. I mean, I've gone up against lists with Bigs in it. I mean, I just hammer down on Bigs, and usually
no.
First and second shooting round, he's gone.
Well, yeah, like whenever I put Bigs on the table, I put him on and he just blows up.
Yeah, I mean, so I like this. I can see the other side of this, and I think I see a strategy in this that, okay, I've got Biggs, and I'll get to use him when that ability when everybody else is most vulnerable.
Right.
And I like it too because now those lists, like the one I was just talking about before with Nora and Biggs and Laura, now you have to fly it more skillfully.
Right.
I mean, you literally got to you've got to protect those other ships.
Yeah.
And fly a little bit better. Not before you could just kind of joust people and not worry. I think you've got to fly a little better.
Yeah.
And pop Biggs at the right moment.
Right.
That could save your game. That can be the turning. Because I think now Biggs becomes a turning point of the game. I think it can be kind of cool.
The way that you used to be able to beat or bypass Biggs was with munitions.
Sure.
So now when you're flying against a ship and they're using munitions and they're target locking somebody else, don't worry about it. Don't use Biggs. They're going to probably shoot their munitions at somebody else. If they wait and hold it and shoot at Biggs just to take them off the board to get rid of that, when is this going to happen? Well, it's Biggs. It's doing
and he's done exactly what you wanted to do.
Right, exactly. So, there's different ways. This one just to me was a surprise.
It was a surprise, but
I think it was.
But I don't feel that bad about this.
No, this one is not. I mean, I don't really.
I mean, I've kind of waffled on what I said, because I did say earlier, well, what are they going to do that made? But you got to remember, there were so many people that used to say, there's no good list without Biggs. There's no good list without Biggs until we got the Miranda Nim.
Right.
For a while, that was really the only way to put Rebels on the board. So
it was Miranda Nim or something with Biggs in it. You did see a Dash Miranda, Dash Nora list.
Right.
Those were your mainstays. So
I guess what I'm basically saying is, man, I can't wait to see what people do with this, because it's going to be fun to watch. I just want to give everybody both sides of this.
Oh yeah,
of how I look at it. Let's move on to the next big one. I think will be the Jumpmasters. Is there something else?
Who? The Jump what?
The Jumpmaster 5000.
I don't understand what that means.
This is the ship that just gets a hatred, man.
So,
I am telling you.
What is this, the third?
Yeah, so back before I even started, it was
Manaroo?
Well, no.
Deadeye.
Deadeye.
They changed Deadeye.
I look back on those lists before I started playing. That was absolutely necessary change. I mean, if you're talking about being able to use your focus token, right, to in place of a target lock. So you have a tiny mind link on there.
Right.
You focus your ship up. You do a 3. You get your free target lock, and now you take a focus as an action. You spend the focus token. You fire. You spend the target lock. You use your focus token and your guidance chips, and you're just driving home some damage. And that's
it allowed you to use Unhinged Astromech or Agromech.
Oh yeah,
because you spend the focus to shoot the target lock. You get a target lock. You use the target lock to reroll.
Absolutely, I forgot about that as well.
So that was the
first thing they did, and
then it was the Manaroo.
Manaroo. Well, it was the thing. Manaroo, Zuckuss and Manaroo changed. So you couldn't get all those tokens from just anywhere. I think they made it range 1.
Range 1. You had to be in range 1, and so what people would do with Manaroo,
you couldn't take as many, right?
I think you got to pass your
Manaroo at the start of combat phase. You may assign all focus, evade, and target lock tokens. Assign
range 1.
Then what did they say about Zuckuss? There was something about Zuckuss as well. When attacking, if you are not stressed, you may receive any number of stress tokens to choose any equal number of defense.
Right.
Originally, you must re-roll those dice. Originally, it was what?
Originally, you could just do it and just build stress up.
Right.
You didn't care.
Right.
You just built it.
You can't have stress when you do it. So you couldn't do it over and over. You can't do it over and over and over.
So what people would do is they would just stick Manaroo in a corner,
and just
fly around in circles, and just pass off stuff left and right. And so people were just so they made that change. So that was
what's funny about that is I just got into X-Wing. I've been in there long when that came out. And I just bought a bunch of ships. As a matter of fact, I bought 2 Jumpmasters online, and they came in the day that they did that. And I'm just sitting there going, I spent all those money on these ships, and now I can't. But
but guess what?
They were
those
still
ships
bad.
were still really good.
Yeah, they were still bad. Badass. I can say badass. Right?
You can say badass. Okay. So now the new one is
Upgrade Bar loses 2 torpedoes and the astromech droid. Golly, that's
the salvage astromech.
That is.
So we've had 3 fixes for the Jumpmaster. We're going to have a 4th. We are. This is just a little too much to me.
Absolutely. I mean, I will say this: there are a lot of people out there that are literally dancing in the street over this.
Yes.
I mean, and I find that. I mean, like, I don't know, man. That's.
There's people who are.
There are people that are going to hate on me for saying this, but I fly better, man. I mean, you know, look, I get it. They are hugely powerful, and I always felt like that the Punishing One title being 12 points was very, very fair.
Yes.
Now I think the Punishing One being 12 points is
a little too expensive.
I know that Alvin was talking about the math involved in it, and it's still worth it to that. It may be worth it to take it, and I agree that it is to get the extra dice, but man, that thing
especially on Dengar.
Yeah, it ought to put something back. Either one of the torpedo slots or the unhinged astromech.
And that's why I say I think we've had 3 fixes. We're going to have a 4th because...
I mean, unless they're just going to do this for a while. Like, maybe they'll leave it like this and let Jumpmasters cool off and let people cool off from it. But I get it, guys. I really do. I know people see it and they're tired. Oh, my God, Jumpmasters. But I also say this. I feel like that, you know, these conversations happen at every night of X-Wing where we start talking about this being overpowered, that being overpowered, and I feel like it's, and I'm guilty of it as well. We're regurgitating what we've heard somebody else say, that they heard somebody else say, that heard it from, one of the really, really, really good players that are out there in the community, and it's like if they say it, then it's,
it's gold.
Yeah, and then they get passed down. I'm not saying it's not gold. I'm saying those guys know what they're talking about. They wouldn't have won all the things they're winning out there. But, and somebody was saying, well, that's not true. And I'm like, sure it is. I mean, it's absolutely true. I mean, that's how we do with everything. Everything's like that. I mean, we talk about bands we like. I remember Hustle, talking about bands we like, and then people that, when the Papa Kids were talking about this band, everybody else will be talking about it. And I actually proved that. I proved that one day. I got two of my friends. We went to the record store back when you go to a record store. Yes, guys, there used to be record stores.
I remember them.
And I said, we're going to find the crappiest piece of junk record ever, and we're going to go to school on Monday and we're going to just talk about it. And we did all week, man. And like in the next 3 or 4 days, I have people come up to me going, man, yeah, I bought that album. It's so great. And we just kind of laughed about that. So I think we get caught up on this. And I'm not saying that they're not right about it. I do agree that the Jumpmaster was Massling. Well, I would have liked to have seen him take the EPT off the contract scout and maybe dump the one torpedo slot.
Yeah, I think a better way to handle this ship would have been maybe jump the torpedo, dump the EPT off of the contracted scout.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I think that's the only like non-name pilot. I think there's a couple of
there's one or two, but it's not very many, and for the whole cost, and and plus all the other stuff you could put on there. So it was really kind of like, I thought, drop the EPT off the contracted scout, the title card, maybe one of the torpedoes, take off a torpedo, or take off the salvage astromech. But
I'm okay with taking this off if you want to take the title and add back either a torpedo or the astromech or both.
Right. And
one. I don't think there needs to be two torpedoes.
The title needs to add whatever they've taken off back. Now,
maybe not both. I don't think they should put both. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say.
Remember, though, even if you did that, you'd only be able to do one ship because, you can't put one punch one up there.
Exactly.
So it's not like you're going to have
3 of them.
3 contract scouts with torpedoes and unhinged astromechs.
And 3 attack. So,
but I know there are a lot of people that are just dancing in the streets over this, and I'm glad for them. And
there's some really happy people. And then the best video I saw was of it was on a Facebook page, another Facebook page of a group, and he had his box with his ships in it. And he takes the top off his box and he goes through, and you see Finn Round, you see 2 Jumpmasters, and he picks up the Jumpmasters and he looks at them and he throws them on the ground because he's like,
well I want to say this about it. They need to do that. I mean, when they reprint this ship, they need to change. They need to give you equal number of upgrade cards the day before. They need to change them up because I mean, if you buy one today, half the crap in there you can't use.
Right.
I mean, you're buying. Yeah. I was about to buy a third Jumpmaster too, and I'm glad I didn't. I almost bought it like a couple weeks ago, and I decided against it, which I'm glad I did now. Yeah. But I mean, I like playing Jumpmaster, so of course I'm going to be on this side of the Jumpmaster. I
think they're still very playable.
Yeah, of course,
I think they can still, especially the contract discount, which I think you're going to see is you're going to
Bumpmasters, baby.
Bumpmasters are coming back. They're just going to get in the way. And that's another ship.
It's a big base. I mean, you can still barrel roll the thing around, and you can drop some rig cargo shoots on people, and you can throw on the anti-pursuit lasers. I mean,
they're Atani Mine, like you can still use that.
Put two of them on there.
Yeah, so you can bump, knowing that you're going to bump, but you're giving out.
There we go. We just found a use for a Atani Mine.
There you go. See, we fixed all the problems.
We already fixed the problems, guys. I mean, I just want to put Jumpmasters out there and still piss people off with them.
Yeah. It's going to happen. I've already been told by one of our 336 Squadron, Alvin, that he is going to be, because I was giving him a hard time about it. So he was like, okay, I'm going to bring back the Scout on Thursday.
I like it.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. It's just conditions on destroyed ships. Condition cards assigned to the ships are not removed when that ship is destroyed unless specified on the card.
So that's like, show you the dark side. If you blow up Rack and Kylo's on there, that's still out there.
It's still out there, and it can still get you.
Yeah, there's a few other little clarifications.
Rolling and re-rolling. Rolling dice is different from re-rolling dice. If an effect references rolling dice, it refers only to the first time a die is rolled, such as rolling dice during the roll attack dice step. If an effect references re-rolling dice, it refers only to the instance when the dice that have already been rolled are rolled again, such as re-rolling dice during the modify attack dice step. So
just rewording on stuff, clarifications, because
when you're adding dice in, you're not re-rolling those dice.
Correct.
I think that people have had some issues with. Like with Finn, Ray, you're adding those dice and you're rolling. I mean, how does that affect? That's not re-rolling. I think there's some clarifications to take care of that. No biggie there.
I think some of the other stuff, a lot of clarifications on. So go back up just a little bit.
Sure.
So the Force Awakens core set damage cards, blinded pilot. A ship with this card cannot trigger advanced cloaking device, the Darth Vader crew card, gunner, or feedback array, as the ship cannot perform attacks. So they added feedback array into this because people were saying, well, I can still feedback array. Well, if you can't attack, you can't feedback array.
Right.
So just another clarification. We're on the minor stuff now.
That was before anyway.
Yeah, but they added a feedback array.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, feedback array is red here.
I think there's something for I'll show you the dark side condition. So the new part is additionally, this is for I'll show you the dark side condition card. Additionally, if this card was assigned from Kylo Ren, who else would it be assigned from? Since the action still resolved, another action is not chosen. So basically, if it's talking about if there's no other pilot skill damage card. So let's say I'm playing against Patrick here, and I Kylo Ren him, and I show him the dark side, and I go through his damage deck, and there are no pilot trait cards. Too bad. I've already used that action.
And you can't change your action, right? You chose use the action, but you didn't keep a mental count of the cards.
And you don't know because if there's stuff that's not face up, you don't know what's in there. So it's basically saying if you choose to show you the dark side,
and you use the action and you can't do it because it's not in there.
Too bad.
It's not like going, I can't do a barrel roll, I'm going to choose a different action, or I can't get a target, I'm going to choose a different action.
Exactly.
You did the action, but you were unable to do it.
Yeah, I should have read that whole paragraph. Sorry, guys. But yeah, that's basically what it's saying. So yeah, now I think we're going to get more into some just more clarifications on stuff. I know that there's one for one of the new aggressors, the TIE aggressors. Dash Rendar, when declaring a barrel or boost, this is the new clarification here, or before executing a maneuver, he must choose whether or not to use his ability. So the idea is I can barrel roll. You can't barrel roll onto debris. but Dash really doesn't care because he can still shoot. So what you have to do if you want to barrel roll on the debris is say, I'm not using Dash's ability, and you just barrel roll onto the debris. So you just have to declare, before you execute a maneuver, before you do anything, you have to say, I am not using Dash's ability here. So that's just more clarification.
All right. Dengar.
So Dengar, there's something on Dengar. So when Dengar is attacked, and they've added this line, when Dengar is attacked on the round that Biggs Darklighter's ability was used. So now we have to have a clarification because of Biggs's ability being only once per game. So if Dengar chooses to use his ability, he can attack a ship that just attacked him rather than Biggs. So it's basically saying, okay,
I thought he's always been able to do that.
He hasn't, but I think they just went ahead and put it in there just so nobody can be like,
because they're going, well, you only do it one time, you got to do this.
Yeah, you have to shoot at Biggs. No, you don't. But that's his thing.
Because he has to shoot back at the person who shot him anyway.
Right,
it's pretty self-explanatory in the card, but I guess they want to make sure
they want to make sure.
Double Edge, this is the aggressor.
Yeah.
Double Edge is he is a pilot skill 4. His original thing says once per round after you perform a secondary weapon attack that does not hit, you may perform an attack with a different weapon. Now it says, when resolving the ability of Double Edge, the ship can choose to resolve an attack with either the primary weapon or equipped cannon or missile secondary weapon. Is that turret?
Yeah.
Turret or missile secondary weapon that did not just perform the attack. If a missile secondary weapon was not discarded due to munitions failsafe, the ship cannot use its ability to attack again with that weapon. So in other words, it was saying before that you could only...
So it was saying if you fire with a secondary weapon, you can perform a primary attack. I don't know why they had to clarify this, because if you shoot with a missile, you still can't do a missile because it's not a primary weapon. All this is basically saying is, if you shoot with a missile, if you don't hit with the missile, you have munitions failsafe. That's great. You don't lose the missile. You still can't shoot.
Can't shoot a missile.
Yeah, you have to shoot the primary.
Have to shoot a primary.
So it's just, I don't know why they had to put it in there, but the reason why they put this in there is that people have argued it, or judges have come back and said, hey, we just need clarification because the way somebody presented it makes it sound like we can do this. So, they're just trying to, for all of these, they're just trying to make sure that everything's kind of even balanced and everybody kind of understands, and, there's no other things. That might be, no, there's another aggressor one.
Where at?
Lieutenant Kestrel. When attacking, you may spend 1 focus token to cancel all of the defender's blank and focus results. So the new change is, or the clarification, Lieutenant Kestrel's ability can be resolved during the modified defense dice step after the defender rolls defense dice and before the defender modifies them. So it's just allowing...
So they can undo what you did?
Yeah, essentially. So you can do it before or after, where you just say, nope, your dice are not there.
Okay.
So just another clarification. I've never seen that. These 2 aggressor pilots I've never seen.
Sonny Bounder has
it's a
once per round after you roll or re-roll dice, if you have the same result on each of your dice, you may add 1 matching result. Sonny Bounder's ability can trigger after re-rolling any number of dice, including 0 dice. For example, if an effect allows Sonny to re-roll any number of dice, such as spinning a target lock, and 0 dice were re-rolled, Sonny may add 1 matching result.
So it's basically saying...
it also says Sonny Bounder's ability triggers before the effect of the heavy laser cannon resolves.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, it's basically saying if you roll and you don't have to re-roll, you still get that ability.
Right. And we know that heavy laser cannon makes you take crits and make them hit.
Right. So if for some reason Sonny Bounder had the heavy laser cannon and rolled 4 crits, it would get to add a 5th crit.
No, because it has to turn on the...
No, but it's saying it does it before the ability triggers.
Right, but then you still
have to change all of this.
5 hits. You're not getting 5 crits.
Right, but you still get a 5th hit in there.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, you get it before. Okay.
So.
Let's see. Upgrade cards. see anything else down here.
I don't think there's much else in there. Advanced targeting computer. So a TIE Advanced equipped advanced targeting computer needs to have a target lock on the defender in order to use the ability. The TIE Advanced cannot use a target lock on the defender from a friendly ship equipped with targeting synchronizer for this requirement, nor can it spin the target lock. It uses the ability of advanced targeting computer.
So that, we've always known that you can't get the extra die and then spin the target lock to roll more dice. And target synchronizer, you can't use that extra. That somebody else is targeting. Yeah, you would be able to use to re-roll your dice.
If you have a target lock on ship A, you can only use its effect on ship A.
Yep.
So there's some stuff for Boba Fett here. Let's back up.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
See, now we're boring Patrick over here.
I know, I'm tired.
So Boba Fett, his ability is after performing an attack, if the defender was dealt a face-up damage card, you can discard this card to choose and discard one of the defender's upgrade cards. So the new little blurb in here is if Boba Fett is used to discard a card that is referenced by name or another card, such as a score to settle or the ghost title, the corresponding card can no longer reference the other ship properly, a debt to pay, or the Phantom respectively, and therefore no longer provides that effect. So what that's saying is if you're flying against the ghost, you do a crit into it, you take away the ghost title, the Phantom title basically goes away, and I think that's what allows you to do the end of round TLT.
Yeah.
So it basically takes the TLT extra shot out of the ghost, or the debt to pay that they used in here. Then it goes on to say if Boba Fett is used as this card, an upgrade card that has an ordnance or illicit, that's new, token on it, the opposing player can discard the token instead of discarding the card. If Boba Fett is used to discard cards such as extra munitions, Jabba the Hutt, any previously placed ordnance or illicit tokens can still be used for their effects. So now what it's saying is you get rid of my extra munitions, that's okay because my tokens are still already in place. I get to keep them. So really what it's saying, don't bother getting rid of the extra munitions token at this point.
Right.
You know, so
you can't make it take the bomb off.
Right,
So.
exactly, yeah. So just another blurb. And we've got a guy who has used Boba Fett before. You don't see him out there often as the crew card. That's the
I know, that's unfortunate. I love Boba Fett. He's like one of my favorite characters.
Citrico Vizago.
Yeah. If Citrico Vizago is used to replace a cloaking device, the effect of the text of cloak device stops, and if the ship has a cloak token, that token is discarded.
Is not discarded.
It's not discarded. So this is when you're switching out.
And the card should read scum only or small ship only.
Yep.
So, for example, the new card needs to obey any restrictions.
It says scum only now, but it also needs to be small ship only.
No, when an upgrade card is replaced with another upgrade card of the same type, the new card needs to obey any restrictions. So you can't put a non-scum only,
I see.
Or you can't put a small ship.
So if it says scum only, it has to be a scum only card, or
you can't. Obviously, it would be scum only because you're flying Citrico. But what this is saying, like for the small ship, you can't put a small ship ability onto a large spaceship,
right?
Or vice versa. We've got a cluster mines clarification. This goes to Minefield Mapper.
When a ship is instructed to place cluster mines, such as by the Minefield Mapper, the tokens are placed in the arrangement described on the cluster mines bomb reference card.
So you basically have to lay them out together. You can't just take one token and put them wherever you want.
I wouldn't have thought that anyway. I guess somebody
has brought it up, and so obviously they had to do it. And then we've got Dead Man's Switch.
So when you were destroyed, each ship at range 1 suffers 1 damage. If a ship with Dead Man's Switch flees the battlefield, Dead Man's Switch ability resolves before the ship is removed, but is measured only from the portion of the ship that is inside the play area. If the entirety of the ship is outside the play area, the ability does not trigger. So in other words, if you fly off the board and you're partially on the board, you measure from the
part that's still on the
board,
and
over to see if it takes effect. If it goes all the way up the board, too bad. So sad. Moving on.
Yep. was a little bit more than I thought.
Yeah.
Emperor Palpatine.
Again?
Yes.
Oh, it's just a clarification.
After a ship rolls defense dice and before it resolves the effect of light wave frame to roll an additional defense dice, Palpatine can be used on the separate additional defense die roll. Note that if Palpatine is used for the initial roll, he cannot affect the separate additional defense die roll. So the question, I guess, was you roll the 2. If
you roll, and then they roll more defense dice, so you can roll that. Can you palp that? And the answer is yes, you can.
Yeah, you can palp it. You can't palp twice, obviously. But so if you need all 3 evades and you roll 2 evades, and you need to make sure that 3rd one or 4th one is an evade, you get it.
Guidance chimps. If a ship with a primary weapon value of 3 or higher uses the effect of guidance chips, it has the option to change 1 die result to a hit result. It cannot. Critical hit result. It cannot instead choose to change 1 die result to a hit result.
So you have to change it to a crit, or you don't get to use it. You can't change it to a hit.
Why would you not? Why would you not want to? I guess it came up in something. I don't know.
I don't understand why you wouldn't.
I'd like to know why that happened. A gunner. Got a clarification on gunner. If an attacking ship is equipped with both gunner and IG-88D, and there is a friendly IG-88B, and the attack misses, the attacking ship can then attack with a
secondary weapon?
Cannon specifically.
Yep.
Cannon secondary weapon using the effect of IG-88B, and then attacking with the primary weapon using the effect of gunner.
Wow.
See timing chart for performing an attack.
So you basically get to perform another attack plus your another primary.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of maybe robots will come back. We got something on Feed Brent. Using feedback array does not count as an attack and can be used against touching ships and while a ship has a blinded pilot damage card, original damage deck assigned to it. Feedback array cannot be used while a ship is overlapping an asteroid or has either a weapons disabled or a cloak token.
Hotshot Copilot.
Okay.
When a ship with Hotshot Copilot equipped attacks the defender, must spend a focus token after the declared target step and before the end of the modified defense step.
So it's just saying you can use it at any point during the steps.
Right.
So, and then when a ship with Hotshot Copilot equipped defends the attacker, must spend a focus token after the declared target steps and before the end of the modify attack dice step. When spending a focus token this way, it can be for the cost of an effect such as calculation or weapons guidance. And then at the end, if the defender has Hotshot Copilot equipped and the attacker cannot modify his dice, such as from snapshot or after resolving accuracy corrector, the attacker is not able to spend a focus token and therefore does not spend a focus token. So that clarifies up some stuff, because that has always been one of my things is, if you can't modify, do you have to spend it? And I think what that's saying is, no, you don't.
So if I were to roll all hits and no focus, they're saying I don't have to spend it?
That's the way I'm reading it. Let us know what you guys think. Maybe we're wrong on
maybe we're on that. M9G8, a ship equipped with M9G8 treats the friendly ships as enemy ships when it acquires target locks. For example, a ship with M9G8 and
Bodhi
Rock equipped
can acquire a target lock on any friendly ship. Yeah. So M9G8 is the astromech that allows you to target lock yourself, which gives you the ability to reroll 1 die. So with Bodhi Rock, what he does is you can acquire a target lock on any ship that is range 1 to 3 of any friendly ship, range 1 to 3 of you, I believe it is. Yep. So basically, if you've got a ship with Bodhi Rock range 3 from an X-Wing, and that X-Wing has a ship range 1 to 3 from it, you can get that target lock all the way back on there. So
Jabba the Hutt. Any ship that has an illicit token may use it as described on the Jabba the Hutt card. That ship may discard an illicit token from a card instead of discarding the card. Illicit tokens can be spent for their effect even if the ship with Jabba the Hutt equipped is destroyed. So you're not going to lose it if it's destroyed, basically. Minefield Mapper. This is new too. When Minefield Mapper is used, the player chooses a number of equipped bomb upgrade cards to discard. Each card can be chosen once. So if a ship equipped with extra munitions uses Monitor Mapper to discard cards, it can choose to discard the ordnance token instead of discarding the card, but cannot choose and discard the card again. So you can't just keep putting money.
Yeah, you can't do what I did.
When you
the first time the Scourge came out, Mindful Mapper, I basically had nothing but cluster mines, and I put them all out on the board. And
you had a row all the way
I just
across.
put them all out there.
That was funny.
So basically,
It didn't work very well.
No, because
he just stayed on his side, you stayed on your side.
So I was like, I guess I'm going in, and I got killed. But that was okay. It was fun to see. Navigator, it looks like there's a little blurb change there. Ship that has been ionized cannot use Navigator to change the speed of a white straight one. Then here's the thing. If Imperial Boba Fett is equipped with Navigator and chooses a bank maneuver when he reveals his dowel, he may resolve both abilities to rotate to any bank maneuver of any speed. That's different. So, yeah. So, a little bit different there. So, just basically saying that Fett can do some stuff with Navigator. Pattern Analyzer, looks like there's something.
Yeah, when a ship activates during the activation phase and uses Pattern Analyzer, the check pilot stress and cleanup steps occur after the perform action step. Abilities that trigger after a ship executes a maneuver still occur after the cleanup step.
If a ship uses Pattern Analyzer and then overlaps a debris cloud, the ship moves, resolves perform action step, rolls for damage from the debris, resolves the check pilot stress step, then receives a stress token from the debris. So it's basically saying, yeah, even if it's clarifying the fact that you move, you're going to take the stress, you know you're going to take the stress, you still get to do Pattern Analyzer.
Yep.
And then you take the, so it's just clarification.
Pulse Ray Shield. A ship can only pay the cost to use this ability, receiving 1 ion token. If it can recover a shield, therefore this ability cannot be used if the ship has a number of shield tokens equal to the shield value.
I don't know why you would do it, but whatever. Somebody has tried to do it.
I guess they have.
Maybe there's something we're missing with that one, but
I guess.
R5P9.
A ship can only pay the cost to use the ability, spending a focus token, if it can recover a shield. Therefore, this ability cannot.
I thought, yeah. I mean, a lot like this is basically saying if you already are full of shield, you can't do it. Well,
right, I don't know. I guess somebody had an issue with it.
Yeah.
Here's targeting synchronizer. It's probably just clarifying what was already talked about.
Yeah. If an enemy ship is locked by a friendly ship equipped with targeting synchronizer, the friendly ship grants friendly ships that are attacking the enemy ship the ability to treat attack target lock as attack, but it does not alter any cost such as spending a target lock. If an enemy ship is locked by a friendly ship equipped with targeting synchronizer, although a friendly ship may not actually have the target lock, it can spin the target lock from the ship with targeting synchronizer as though it did. I don't know why we need clarification there, but...
Special Ops Training, this is the title for...
TIE SF?
TIE SF, yep. The proper sequence of events when using this card is as follows. If the ship attacks with its primary weapon from its primary firing arc, it can choose to roll an additional attack die. If it does not roll an additional attack die, it may perform an attack from its auxiliary firing arc. Therefore, if the ship begins by attacking with its primary weapon from its auxiliary firing arc, it cannot use the effect of special training. So in other words, you cannot go, I choose to shoot out the back first, then shoot out the front. You've got to do front and then back. That's
to get the effect.
To get the effect.
Yeah. So just clarification, just timing. I don't know why.
It's a timing thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because because it may have come in effect by shooting out the back first of a ship that would have gotten to shoot you.
Well, it still gets to shoot you no matter what.
First or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess okay.
Somebody complained about it, so they were like, you know what? Let's just put it in there.
Yep.
And
somebody has a question. That's usually how this happens. Somebody has a question.
Now we're down to the general questions. Okay, are discarding and removing a token the same effect?
Yes.
Yes. So new question. That's it. I mean, yeah. Here we go. When a ship causes a bomb to detonate, when its maneuver template overlaps its, for example, proximity mine, when does the effect happen? The effect of the bomb occurs after the final position of the ship is determined.
Yeah, if it's one that it has to be, it's a range. It doesn't matter if you cross over it.
Well, I think this changes the way that I have been playing cluster mines, because the way I've always understood it, you go ahead and do the maneuver, and then you roll for each cluster mine, and then so if your first cluster mine,
I don't think that's going to change that.
You don't think so?
You roll when it overlaps it, but I mean, what this is talking about is a bomb that is its effect is a radius around it. Like,
no,
it's not a contact bomb.
No, proximity mine is contact.
Is it?
Yeah. See, it's
I
talking
thought
about
proximity meant.
No, proximity mine is the big round one.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe
when does the effect happen? The effect of the bomb occurs after the final position of that ship is determined.
Well, maybe with Sabine, what that's saying is with Sabine, it blows up. Let's say you've done a 5.
What is the final position of the ship?
But
matter
if you're using Sabine, let's say you're right in front of a proximity mine, and you do a 5 over it, and you're no longer
they call it a proximity mine if it doesn't blow up when you're in proximity of it.
It's because the token is so big.
So damn big. Okay.
So maybe what this is saying is, if you do a 5 past
I don't
it,
use them so.
Yeah, if you do a 5 past it and you're no longer in range 1, maybe you don't get the Sabine.
Oh yeah, okay, that's yeah. You know what? You're right. They get to go all the way to their final position.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think we were talking about some people were talking about this the other day. You go all the way to your final position, then you resolve the bomb, which would then you would check that point for Sabine.
Yep.
And so since you're way down here when it, okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I think I've won some games against you that I would have lost because of that cheater.
I don't think that's true.
I get it now. That makes sense. All I have to do is Sabine.
I don't think there's that much. I think that's probably it. So that's it. So yeah, big surprise, Biggs. Jump Masters,
Tiny Mine Link. Jump Masters, no surprise. I mean,
no surprise.
They have been receiving the hate, baby. Receiving the hate. I mean, again,
a little heavy-handed.
I do get it, guys. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel like when I talk about this with people, if I'm not on there, it's almost like I feel like this whole thing with Jump Masters is almost like Republicans and Democrats dealing with each other. It's like if no matter even if what you're saying is.
Agreeing, you're not agreeing.
Yeah, you're not going to agree with it regardless because you're not. If whatever side you're on, you know, and I mean I'm guilty of it too. I mean, it's like it's kind of like almost like politics ever. Oh, well, that's a Democratic position. Absolutely, you know.
Yeah.
In the back of your mind, you know how stupid it is or something.
You know, I don't fly them all that often. I've flown them. You know, a couple on here. I flew triple jumps. I've flown 2 of them in a tournament. I tried the Dengar Bosk thing for a couple times. I don't fly them a lot, but I do really feel like
I really don't fly them as often as I complain about the fact they've done this.
But well, to me, you know, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, for somebody who doesn't fly them but flies against them more than he flies them, it was heavy-handed. It was heavy-handed, and I think
that's all I'm saying. It is. I mean, I'm glad you see that because I think a lot of people who just really, really hate them are just so elated over this.
Well, now,
and I'm repeating myself. I mean, I don't want to continue.
Now, let me put a little asterisk on this. It's heavy-handed unless I'm talking to Alvin, and then it's absolutely perfect. They should have taken away.
It should have said unless you're Alvin.
Well, I think
only if you're Alvin.
I think when I talk to Alvin, I'm going to say what they should have done with them is they should have taken all of the upgrade slots. So it's just a bare ship. That's all you get
for Alvin only.
For Alvin only.
Got it. I mean, and this is how we treat our friends.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, a lot. This was a big one. They had to get it out there before regionals. It's going to change a lot of stuff. Everybody who's flying Imperials, there wasn't really a big change. So Imperial players are like, hey, whatever, we don't have to change.
And I think maybe that's the point of a lot of this is to bring back some Imperial lists. I mean,
there's a lot of stuff.
I would like to see more of them. I mean, you know, I started out as an Imperial player, and I moved over to Scum Villainy because there just wasn't much. I mean, other than Racklow and. You know,
and we've got a lot of stuff that they could do. I know a couple.
Damn those Jump Masters! The hell with them. I'm on the. I've changed sides again now.
For like Biggs, one of the things that some people and our people were talking about in the discussion on Facebook was we still don't have a KS2O crew card. So could there be a U-wing fix coming and included in that an X-wing title?
Maybe so.
So
that'd be cool. Yeah, and we talked about it on Snapwex's workshop about
Yeah.
building that, and I don't know if we did a very good job doing it, but
No, but I mean, I think
we made yours was way overpowered.
Yeah, well, we had fun with it. It's just
was
play,
fun.
So
I like
something
doing stuff like
different.
that. Yeah. So I guess we can wrap this up with.
Let us know what you think. How do you feel?
How do you feel about
are
it?
you
we
guys
just
happy?
Are we crazy?
Yeah.
Are we crazy for saying things we've said? I don't know. I mean, I think everybody has their opinion on it. I think people, like I said, there are two camps. There are a lot of people that are really happy, a lot of people that are very sad.
Right.
But I think we can all agree that I think we can all agree on one thing is that a lot of this was directed towards bringing Imperials back.
I think so. I think it was really to say, okay, Imperials, let's get this stuff back. I mean, we've seen. I think the Imperial list that we saw was a Palp Aces list. I'm not sure what the another.
Yeah, Palp Aces list and
It's
the
still
Racklow are the two that are out there, and I'm very interested in that. But I'd like to see a bunch of TIE bombers out of there.
Yeah,
I faced a bunch of TIE bombers one time. It wasn't fun.
No, they can be bad.
They were stress hogging me. They were just stress. I got to the point. I ran out of stress tokens. He ran out of stress tokens, and I said, "Look, I will agree that I will never get another action the rest of the game. We don't need to hunt down any more stress tokens. I concede that."
So yeah, let us know what you think. Like us, share us, all that good fun stuff.
Yep. And thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting us, and we appreciate it. What else?
Straighten up.
Fly right.